Hello friends, we back for another Ruby reaction. Today we'll be checking out Ruby Fairy Tales The Girl in the Tower. So I think everyone knows what the story is going to be about. It's basically the backstory of Salem. Um, I guess the interesting thing to note here, if ever, is what the fairy tale would be. Because we kind of got the actual story based on the story told by Jin in the main series. But you know how they say that legends are like spread through word of mouth. So it's like the telephone game where the story tends to change the longer it gets, like the more mouths it gets passed through. So it's gonna be interesting to see if that's what happened here, if the story is gonna be far from what actually happened from what we saw. But yeah, without further ado, let's check it out.
A long, long time ago, a beautiful girl was locked in a tower by her cruel father.
Mm-hmm. Spot on.
He was not always that way. But when her mother died in childbirth, it devastated him.
Okay.
He vowed he would never lose his daughter. So he locked her away.
Father, why won't you let me leave this tower?
My darling, you are my most precious possession. I am
Ooh.
protecting you from everything outside that could harm you.
But I'll be careful. I promise.
Could that be the
This was your
indecisive king?
mother's favorite tower. She loved gazing out this very window. Why would you want to leave it?
I just wish I knew what life was like outside this room.
Holy shit, there's magic? Like, I know there's magic in the
Since you
world,
cannot
but...
go out into the world, perhaps these will bring the world to you.
Interesting.
The world in these books. What a marvelous place. Tomorrow I'll be 16, and I have never even stepped outside. Huh. Thank you, dearest father, for these wonderful
Dude, I
gifts.
knew it!
Anything for my daughter on her 16th birthday?
There is one thing I
Right? That's
still
the
desire.
indecisive king?
What is that, my darling?
Pen and paper, that is all. I have read every book in this castle, and now there are none left. I would like to write my own stories.
It shall be yours. I hope you will read these stories to me.
Of course, father.
Very optimistic.
Once there lived a beautiful maiden locked in a high tower by her cruel lord father.
Dude!
She longed to experience the world outside, but she was his prisoner. If only some brave, strong warrior
Oh
would
my
defeat
god,
the
that's
evil
how the
world,
message
and
got
there,
out.
at last, they would marry, inherit all of her father's riches, and live happily ever after.
Just as she planned, the story of the girl's tragic circumstances spread far and wide. And then the Lord's worst nightmare came true. One warrior after another arrived to challenge his might, steal the girl away from him. Many tried, and just as many fell to the Lord's powerful evil magic. Until one day, a brave new challenger came.
Ozma!
This hero, armed with his own powerful magic, at last defeated the cruel Lord.
Cool
You have
animation.
rescued me from this castle, the girl said. So now it is yours. I only came to right a terrible wrong, the hero said. You rescued yourself. Where shall we go now? Wherever you like. You are the one who has yet to see the world.
Wow.
And here we are at the end. This fairy tale is unique on Remnant, in that the protagonist writes her own story and her own ending.
Cool.
Storytellers hold great power over their audiences. The girl in the tower used her power and led many warriors to their deaths.
That's true.
We must read with some skepticism and decide the truth for ourselves. Because in real life, there is no happily ever after.
Looking to pick up some merch for the holidays?
Woo!
Well, we just released new RWBY and Red vs.
Hold up. All right, so that was the episode. Dude, very interesting. So yeah, basically she figured out that the magic was just keeping her there, not her objects. And by that, she wrote like, it was, I guess, half true, right? She was being kept there against her will, in a sense. But it's not like the father was cruel to her in the sense that she was, being abused, like, physically, emotionally, and all that. It's just you're not free, right? You seek freedom, but you don't have that. So, it's not. She made it sound like she was being tortured and shit, right? But I get where they're coming from. It is, if you don't have freedom, a lot of people, I guess even I, can't really live without freedom, right? So it was basically just as bad from her vision. But yeah, she definitely made it look like it was worse than it actually was. And because of that, what do you call that? Um, because of like the arrogance that she feels like she deserves more, um, she led people to their deaths, thinking that this king was torturing some poor soul, but it wasn't really that bad. So yeah, so I guess that was the part that we didn't really get, right? That's the fairy tale part. Um, we got a little more from that. So yeah, the it was very entertaining. We learned a bit more. So that's gonna be the episode. If you guys like the content, like, share, and subscribe. Leave some comments there. If you want to support your boy even more, links to Patreon down in the description. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.